Harry Kane's rules for goal-scoring style on and off the pitch. On the pitch, Harry Kane's record speaks for itself. He's on track to become the Premier League's top goal scorer of all time with 164 goals in 240 appearances, move over Alan Shearer, and the 27-year-old England captain and Spurs striker is a true flag-bearer for the beautiful game, having just taken England to the final of Euro 2020. Also, men's fashion. Because since 2018, Kane has been a global ambassador for Boss, a role that's helped his style do the talking off the pitch. With a penchant for a well-fitted single-breasted suit, as anyone who has kept an eye on the footballer's black tie appearances at GQ's Men of the Year awards will attest, plus a savvy, neutral-tone downtime wardrobe, the two-time Premier League Golden Boot winner knows what works for him. Over Zoom, Kane spoke to GQ from the Lodge, the world-class training facility at Spurs grounds in North London, about his approach to winning style. "I love a good suit. I don't dress up that often, but a well-fitted suit can just make you feel your absolute best. I don't like to be recognized too much when I'm out and about. I try to keep a low profile and stick to neutral tones. I'm not the type to throw on bold colors. My style hasn't changed too much over the years. I'm buying into better brands, but the products I wear are pretty much the same: t-shirts, jeans, bomber jackets, roll necks, trainers, and boots. I've got a green Moncler puffer jacket that will be staying with me for life. I'll never give it up. I always have a tracksuit ready to wear." Unlike most people, lockdown didn't really change my usual style, as I was already living in tracksuits before and after training. That my wife has the final say in what I wear. There have been one or two instances when she's seen me wearing something and given me a little word after to say, "Maybe don't wear that again." If there's something I really like, I'll put my foot down, but, as they say, happy wife, happy life. David Beckham has always been my role model on the pitch, but he's also a role model off the pitch, with regard to how he looks. He's a big fashion icon in football and beyond, which is probably helped by his wife being Victoria Beckham. I prefer simple football shirts, such as England's World Cup kits, which were white and red. I'm also a big fan of dark kits, so Tottenham's work for me. I wouldn't want to wear anything too out there, but I've got to do what I'm told or else I'm out of the job. When it comes to boots, I've always liked white boots that have multicolored prints on them. I like my boots to be a bit more extravagant. My hair right now is the best it's ever been, enough length to sweep it back. I used to have short hair and, looking back, it wasn't good. I use the hairdresser my wife has been going to since she was a kid. I trim my beard daily before I shower. That's an essential. I actually wear a sun cream moisturizer hybrid every day. As a footballer, I'm outside a lot, in the sunshine, wind, and rain. It wreaks havoc on my skin, so I need to protect it. I've always worn fragrances. Like wearing a suit, it just makes you feel good. Before I leave the house I spray some on and it kickstarts my day. I'm really big on nutrition. I watch what I eat and take everyday supplements as a means to live a longer, healthier lifestyle. That said, cheat meals are essential. I regularly do Pilates. It's great for injury recovery, but also for my mental health. I use it to switch off and relax my body. Unbelievable, Reyna can be key to USMNT's World Cup dreams. The Borussia Dortmund star might not be 100% fit, but he may not have to be to still play a leading role in Sunday's clash with Panama. Want to know how good Gio Reyna is? Just watch the clip. It is a few seconds of individual brilliance, of grace and poise and joy and everything else that makes the beautiful game beautiful. The clip, a few seconds of Reyna darting in and out of Mexico's midfield on a mazy run in the heavy Azteca air, went viral almost immediately. His own coach, Greg Berhalter, called it Maradona-esque, alluding to the famous goal of the century in Mexico scored 16 years before Reyna was even born. "I don't know about that," said Reyna, as he and teammate Christian Pulisic could do nothing but laugh at the comparison between a 19-year-old American kid and, perhaps, the most dazzling and awe-inspiring soccer player of all time. Berhalter was not comparing Reyna to Maradona, because doing so would be foolish. And, ultimately, Maradona's miraculous run through the England defense ended with a historic goal, while Reyna's ended with the young American running into a brick wall. But what Reyna does have is that ability to absolutely turn a game on its head, to create the one or two moments that determine whether the U.S. men's national team wins or loses. And, on Sunday night, those one or two moments may just determine whether or not the U.S. goes to a World Cup. The U.S. will face Panama on Sunday in their penultimate World Cup qualifying game, and the situation is clear. Better Costa Rica's result against El Salvador and the U.S. is in. Lose and see the path to Qatar get a whole lot more difficult. Heading into Sunday's match, the USMNT will be pretty short-handed. Weston McKennie and Sergiño Dest are ruled out due to injury. The injury bug bit Brendan Aronson too, robbing the USMNT of perhaps its most consistent playmaker, while Timothy Weah and DeAndre Yedlin will miss out due to suspension. You can tack on Reggie Cannon's COVID-related absence as well, with Berhalter's team missing several key pieces and backups. But what the US does have is Reyna. The Borussia Dortmund star had been out of the fold since September, having missed nearly the entirety of World Cup qualifying due to injury. With Reyna gone, the US has been without one of its primary playmakers and, perhaps, the team's most talented attacker. And it is not just sequences like the one spoken about at length above that. It is also the one that occurred just moments prior. Shortly after coming on, Reyna nearly created what would, and should, have been the game-winning goal, getting onto the end of a perfectly hit, over-the-top ball from Kellen Acosta. Reyna, quite rightly, squared the ball to Jordan Pefok, who was left with an entire net to shoot at. But, unfortunately for Pefok and the US, the striker shanked his shot wide to the right. But it was that moment that showed another side that Reyna brings. He brings both the physical gifts and the intelligence, the ability to score a goal and the ability to create one. He's a lovely kid, but, when he gets on the pitch, he's just a player that is incredibly confident with himself, and it's backed by the abilities he's got, said defender Anthony Robinson. You see him coming on at the Azteca, it's his first game in a while, and there's no fear whatsoever. He just knows, I'm going to get on the pitch and try and run the show, and that's what he did. He was really effective when he came on, and it's been unfortunate that we haven't had him for every camp because we obviously want all our players to be available when possible. That is another factor in Reyna's current situation, availability. Upon returning from injury in February, Reyna immediately aggravated that same injury. He only placed once before joining the USMNT, going 90 minutes exactly 1 week before the US face Panama on Sunday. Because of that, Berhalter has spoken about the need to manage expectations and, more importantly, minutes. Reyna is not yet back at full strength, a frightening thought given the glimpse he provided at Mexico. So is Reyna ready to start, and, if he is, can he go out wide or in the midfield? Berhalter says that remains to be seen. Potentially, Berhalter said when asked if Reyna could start centrally on Sunday. We talked about it. It could happen again. We've got to look at where he is physically and if he's ready to play or not. That's a concern of ours. I thought he had a good impact coming in the game of the night, so we'll see. The fact of the matter is that the USMNT are a much better team with Reyna in the 11. An attacking unit featuring Pulisic and Reyna is the best the USMNT can field right now. No matter who starts at the striker position, and that very much remains up in the air heading towards game time, they will get their chances with Reyna and Pulisic on the field. The question is just how much the US can get out of Reyna, and if he can provide those moments of magic like he did against